Do you mind if I do this? It's like, you know. So we're going to have a... I've seen it twice. You know, and it works just as well, and then some. And I could see it another couple times. I'm going to see it another couple times. I guess I'm just wondering. I just got so pissed off, frankly, at those people that weren't fans in Cannes, and I was like almost ready to argue with them, you know. And and all I could figure is that they felt it was that life is can be. They felt that life was being too cruel to Javier's character. All this horrible luck, including the gas heaters, you know. And I said, well, yeah, but you know, when you're on the marginal edge of things, all it takes is one thing going wrong, and everything can fall down. I mean, you know, bad luck can come in streaks. And I remember that David Mamet line from way back, how I pray to God that it doesn't happen to you in streaks. When it does, there's no stopping it. And I completely related to that decision.
Yeah, you know, I think that everybody and every people that see this film, I respect, and I think they are free to think and feel whatever they need to.
Right.
In a way, I always have try to disattach myself, try to be serene by understanding that the incredible pressure that people is in a festival,
yeah,
as you have been,
right,
seeing 3-4 films a day, with something to say, with the immediacy of today going out and Twitter something after even the critics are rolling.
Right.
And I feel that now, with all the respect, critics and criticism is for art what journalists or journalism is for history. You know? The nature of that work doesn't allow you to get the time and the perspective you need to understand the events or a film or a piece of music or whatever.
Right.
The only real judge is time, and I hope that this film can stand. And at the same time, I think nobody saw this film coming. In the IMDb, there was this.
I remember that ridiculous synopsis. Yeah.
Synopsis that nobody. I don't know who wrote it. I didn't took my time to really correct it because I didn't care.
Yeah.
And nobody knew nothing. And everybody was linking from that, and everybody thought that they would. And suddenly, the film confront people which in territories, in a very unstable territory, which this is not a clockwork. This doesn't be branded in any genre. It kind of obeys to the rules of the tragedy, but has a metaphysical question with some hyper-realistic approach. So this is a film that asks a timeless question in a very specific moment in time with social issues that somebody has to talk and they are uncomfortable with. Yes. But to all these people that say it's too much, I will say shit happens. And let me tell you, as every tragedy, the spiral goes down until the end as an inferno. That's the rule of the game.
Yeah.
But I can tell to all these guys that there's millions of people living in the conditions that are much more worse than that. This is Disney than compared to. And I will not be subordinating this film to accommodate to the sensitivities of the blockbusterness that we are living in. So this is this is a simple man's life in a very complex time that we are living, and it's exposed as I saw it, as I documented, and this is what it is. I was very supportive of and admired Javier's character in this film because of he is constantly paying money to many people for many things. But it seems to me that he's getting paid, but more often he's paying out. He doesn't have much in the way of savings, I'm guessing. And he's also, I admired his character because he clearly
feels certainly remnants of genuine feeling, even passion for his ex, but is strong enough to never even go there. And I felt that I was getting to know somebody that I respected, and I saw that he was strong enough to have balance in his life as much as he could.
As a character?
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, for me, what I want to make a point, a very strong point here, or I invite people to understand, at least what I try to do. I don't know if I achieve it.
Right.
I think with some people, really, they are clear enough to see that. We sometimes react or we sometimes hate what we fear, what we are afraid of. Mm-hmm. And this is a very uncomfortable kind of thing, but at the same time, what the challenge of this film, or what I'm inviting, and that's why the title Beautiful, is not an ironic show, is, can it be beauty in poverty, in immigration, in those things, in those situations? Yes, it is. It can. If not, all the world will be 80% of the world will be unbearable.
Right. Right.
I think that this film, for me, Beautiful, is life reaffirming. I kind of, the only thing that I can't understand is when they mention trying to even people that love the film saying this is bleak or this is dark. And I said, wait a minute, let's define it. This is not a film about death. This is a film about life. Mm-hmm. But it's a life being celebrated or is observed at the end of the road. Mm-hmm. So when I put the camera at the end of the road, and in the first 10 minutes I said, you know how it's gonna be ending this. This is not predictable at all. It's just inevitable. But if I will put the angle and I will narrate this story from the ending point of the road, then the journey will have a different angle. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is about. That's why I said that it's a wrecking.
Right.
It's a wrecking because wrecking is a celebration of a life that has been lost. But I want to say that if this film, if you don't either intellectualize this, if you don't close yourself to intellectualize the experience, but you let yourself emotionally go through it, what I want to say is that it's a celebration of life, and that life really counts. It's worth it. It has a gravitas, and it's just a poor, ordinary, simple man in a neighborhood that is only immigrants, but you care and you feel. Mm-hmm. I consider Bleak an existentialist. Films that 20 people is killed in the name of entertainment.
Yeah.
And you don't care about none of them.
Yeah.
And this is when I become really existential, and those are Bleak. Mm. So I think, I think this man that is able to find love and forgiveness and compassion and love for his kids and for the African woman and for in the worst circumstances that a man can be, and that's what I feel is an even to that life. Mm. That's the way I see things.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you share that or you connect with that. Even when I know that it's a tough ride, I will be lying, of course.
Yeah.
But that's what I expect of a ride when I pay a ticket and somebody give me 2 hours of his life. Yeah, it's better that the next day is not just a one-night stand, that at the end, the next day you wake up and say, wow. I hope.
Yeah. The lovely idea, the image, which I'll never forget, of the person soon to pass over on the ceiling of a room. Where did that come from? Just when you were writing it, just came to you, or because I love that. That's something I've never. I also noticed, by the way, one of the people that were killed by the gas. Mm-hmm. I saw one of them on the ceiling the second time. I didn't notice it.
That's Javier himself seeing himself.
Oh, the second?
Yeah.
Because I see
his house.
But that's at the end when we see him. But there's another person.
Oh. If you notice it, I don't know if you noticed, there's many glimpses of things that are happening. This is a guy that is a street guy that has this metaphysical gift, right?
Yeah.
So he's able to see, it's a vident,
right.
It's a psychic or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So what I want to say is that when he knows what he's going through and he knows that he has only a month to really put the things together, his extreme sensitivity began to. I have some little elements, visual elements, during the film that his shadow and reflection began to be separated from him. So there's 3 moments that I play with his reflection, with shadows. So there's a moment that he knocks in Marambra thing, and the image it's a little desynchronized.
Right.
Then there's a moment that he looks to himself in the mirror, and there's a moment that he's playing with the fork and the shadow is doing contrary. So